This is actually an amazing instrument for the studio because right now, with technology, everything is really moving towards home studios. You know, the whole big lavish, recording studio days are kind of gone. And for a producer, managing your budget is everything, but not sacrificing your quality. You want to maintain your quality because your sound as a producer, that's pretty much all you have. So 1 minute you slip up on a project, because of, budget costs, you're pretty much done. Where with this, it enables you to have a well-built home studio, but instead of me always having to, book studio time, where their Steinway is, which is usually going to be the most expensive room, I could put this right in my studio and, man, just be a magician, People will think I'm, in New York, in a big, Studio A, and I'm actually right at home, So it's phenomenal. And then with this, with me, usually if I'm doing something, if a song that's more intimate and it's more, dark in texture, where it's simple, but it's, you feel the emotions of it, something. Something like that, where you're not playing a lot of notes, but it's more like the passion and the emotion. You want like a darker piano. Well, that means I have to find a studio, who can, accommodate me with that. Also, deal with their scheduling. So now I'm subject to, can I get in on time based on my schedule, my own, release dates and times I have to turn in a project. Where with this, I just keep it, in my own studio, and I can go dark. If I have to go bright, I can go bright. I don't have to keep, booking all of these different studios all over the country, So I keep it, keep it right with me. So it's an amazing thing. So it's really, it's really brilliant, and it's right on time. It's right on time. A lot of times, when you're working and you're in the vibe of something, you're in the vibe of a project, you hate always having to put the piano off or play the piano with a scratch piano as a sample. But when you listen to the track, it really doesn't fit, and you're always saying, okay, we got to book the studio time to do the piano. And, and a lot of times, by the time you do put the piano on, you lost the vibe that you had for that song at that moment. And so you're trying to recapture the vibe. But with this, as soon as you feel it, you can record it, and it sounds real. And that's, that's an amazing thing. I have always felt that technology has always pushed music, all the way back into going back to the 50s. We came out with, electric amps. And then there you have rock and roll, and then towards the, towards the 60s, you had the whole, wall of sound, and you had stereo. And so now, people and producers are like, wow, okay, I can pan that way over here, and it gives me this effect, or I could put this vocal way over here. I can actually add my own reverb to this, and you have artists like Marvin Gaye who just, he mastered stacking himself and adding reverb, and so it shaped his sound. And then you go into the 70s, you have the Fender Rhodes, you have the Moog, and then you have the Clav, and then you give this new technology to creative people, and then it forces them to have to make a new musical sound out of it. You give Stevie Wonder a clav, and he gives you Superstition. So it's I've always felt that technology has forced that. Even into the 80s, you had the Lindrum, and now it was worn out in the 80s, but we loved it. It was it was great. But and I still think that's one of the greatest drum machines. But it forced music. So this piano and the capabilities that it has, will challenge producers, and I believe will force music into a whole nother realm of creativity, because that's what technology does. And now, you're saying that I have everything right at my fingertips. I don't have to go to all these different pianos and have to bring all these people to tune and rebuild this. And I mean, that's a hassle. But now, I can actually, play with the strings, play with the hammers, change the way the strings are sounding, change the sound of them, change what it's wrapped with, so now that's going to, cause creativity to flow in a whole nother way, and music can't help but change. That's what, that's the thing about music, who would have thought that if you take a regular piano and squash it and compress it till you can't do it anymore, you would have, artists like Coldplay and, these different effects that have come from playing with a piano, but those are real pianos, which is kind of hard to do. It's time consuming, it costs more money, but now I have everything right here at my fingertips. So I definitely, I feel like this is really going to challenge producers and change music in a lot of different ways. I really do. I really do. It's an amazing thing.